The Kim Jacobs Show. Listen, we have a great show lined up for you. I'm your host, Kim Jacobs, better known as the Balance Doctor. And all of our guests that come on, they're either people that have overcome some tremendous odds in their own lives as they balance this thing called life, or they're experts and they're here to share tips and strategies that will help you better balance and manage your life. Grab your virtual seats and let's get ready for some real relevant and relatable content on today's episode of The Kim Jacobs Show. Okay. Hello, everyone. I hope you all are having a fantastic day. So glad to have Beth Badour with us today. How are you, Beth? You're muted, so you have to unmute your own self over there. Beth, you're muted.
I did once, and then I thought I couldn't hear you.
How are you today? You keep muting your own self over there. We can't hear you. But anyway, listen, while Beth unmutes herself, we are going to tell you all we're super excited to have you all here today. This woman is a woman that has just been through a complete transformation in life. And as we are going to be talking to her today, I want to definitely introduce her to you. She is an author. Never Say Never, Living Life with Kidney Disease from Victim to Victor. She's victorious, and that's her full wording. From victim to victorious. And I'm going to let her share her journey in dealing with kidney disease and end stage and different things that's happened along her journey. But I am so honored to have Beth Badour with us today. Thank you for being here, Beth. Oh, I can't unmute you, unfortunately.
I've tried both. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay, finally. I've been playing around with it and it says unmute.
That's the whole artsy part of stuff, right? So it's like you work your dress while you're over there hitting the mute, unmute. Okay.
Well, we got it now. Yes. So when I was in my 50s, I was told that I would probably need to be on dialysis and get a kidney transplant. Okay. And I told all my friends and family that I felt like I had gotten to the point in my life where I felt I was complete. I had worked at nursing homes and I had seen the people come in when after they had dialysis and they needed to do the rehab.
Right.
And they were just so tired and they didn't want to do it. And that's what I thought kidney disease and dialysis would look like. And I said, I want quality, just not quantity in my life. Right. And this doesn't look like quality. So I assumed, and I think everybody knows when you say assumed what that means.
Right.
Well, that was me. So I had plans to go on hospice and not go on dialysis. So I traveled the world with my kids, making memories and even looking for other options. And yeah, that's Hunter, who's in the Navy, and that's Jonathan, who lives in New York City now, the one with the cat.
Okay.
Those are both my boys, yeah. And they're special people to me. And so we traveled the world and I tried to find different opportunities. And basically it's dialysis and then getting a transplant. So I got down to 4%. And my son finally came to me and he said, no, Mom, you have got to stay here. You're such a bright light. Okay. Why are you doing this? Why are you leaving us? We need you. My brother and I need you to stay here. Please stay here. So I was really in that victim mode of fearful of life, not fearful of death. I was fearful for staying here in life. Can you imagine getting that low in your life that you've given up? You don't even go to God anymore. You've given up. I was at that point. And Jonathan spoke to me, and I believe he was one of my angels. And he said, no, Mom, you're staying here. So first I stayed for him. And then I realized after a while, I can't just stay for Jonathan and Hunter. I need to stay for me. What was going to make worth living for me? So I changed everything, my perspective on life, my perspective of my body and who I am, everything about myself. A 180 turn, not a 360, but
because then you
right back where I started from. And I went through a process and I was journaling through this whole time.
Mm.
And I went through dialysis and finally decided I'm going to be a victor over this. I'm going to be victorious. I'm not going to play that victim anymore. Who wants to be around a victim? I don't
Nobody.
even want to be around myself when I'm feeling like I'm a victim. Now, when
Mm.
I'm victorious and I go out in the world and I smile and I'm happy, my total experience is different. Even if I'm going through a dis-ease, I
Yeah.
call that a disease, a dis-ease, right? That I experience myself and the world in a totally different realm. Like I'm in a new universe. I'm like looking
Right.
around going, is this the same place I was before I, got to this point in my life? So it totally changed my life. I reinvented myself from being a physical therapist to being with my website called the because I support people to create their life by design. An author, a speaker, a coach, all these different things to help other people after I went through it. And finally, after 2 kidney transplants, I have a kidney that's functioning right now. And
Yes.
that gives me so much more freedom than I had when I was on dialysis.
Wow. Okay. So you went from victim because
Yep.
you were seeing. It wasn't that you had some off that you were far removed from this. You were dealing with people that were dealing with dialysis and you
hmm
saw the
hmm
impact that it had on them.
Oh, yeah.
So by
hmm
seeing that, you immediately were impacted by it. And you were like,
Yes.
so this is what I can expect given my diagnosis.
hmm
And
Yeah.
and so it wasn't so far removed for you that that would be the possibility of the outcome of your new destiny, if that makes sense,
Exactly.
with this diagnosis. So you were kind of being plagued, if I'm not
hmm
mistaken,
And I
by
did it to myself.
right. So it was
Yes.
self implication. You were plaguing
Yes.
yourself. Wow. And then you
Yeah.
had your son that told you, Mom, it's not going down like this, basically.
Right.
We're not
hmm
letting you go off the hook that quick, just
Yep.
throwing in the
Mhm.
towel.
Yeah.
And so you decided to take heed, not just live for your 2 sons, but take
hmm
matters into your own hand
Yep.
and decide to have a different outcome of your life.
Yes.
Wow.
Exactly. I know. And
Okay.
he had come to me several times before, but I wasn't ready to listen. I had to get down to 4%. 4%. I was
Who
on
is he?
palliative
Who
care.
is he? God? Who is he? Your son?
Jonathan. When
Jonathan. Okay.
Jonathan came
Hold
to
on
me,
for
he had come to me a couple of times and nope, I'm getting out of here. I'm done. I feel complete. And that day, for some reason, I listened to him. And I thank God now that I listened to him.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm very grateful and thank God as well that you listened to
Yeah.
him. And how important is it, because you are on the other side of this now, but how
hmm
important is it for people that are going through dis-ease of any
Yes.
sort to be able to listen to some of their loved ones? Any insight on that?
Yes. Oh, exactly. Especially listening to your children throughout my life. I look at them as teachers. They came through me. They're not exactly mine, right?
Right.
They came through me and they're their own individuals with their own personalities and experiences and knowledge. And just because they're your child doesn't mean that you don't have to listen to them from when they're a little baby. They teach us things all the time. So listen to your children, listen to other people. You don't have to accept what other people say if it doesn't resonate with you.
That's right.
But pay attention and gain knowledge, gain wisdom from other people, and see if it really relates to you and how you can use that information to improve your life.
I love that advice. And in the virtual studio audience, I know that you all have been coming in. I can see you all appearing, and definitely grab your virtual seats. Share some comments, ask questions. We'd love to hear from you all today. And most importantly, to share the broadcast. Don't deprive people
Yeah.
of the opportunity to hear from Beth Badour, who's here with us today. Vanita says, good morning, beautiful lady. Good
Yes.
morning to you, Vanita. Glad to have you in the studio audience. Today's episode is also sponsored by Attorney Charles Everidge with Hunter Everidge Law Firm. Definitely, if you're dealing with disability or workers' compensation, or you're dealing with some type of wrongful death of a loved one, give them a call. They're in the Alabama, the Richmond, Virginia, and the Carolinas area. And their phone number is 704-457-5000. Let them know the Kim Jacobs Show referred you. Listen, when we come back, Beth, I would love to hear you talk about you being able to you have some philosophies. And one of the philosophies, I have given up on giving up, and
hmm
so can you.
Yes.
I want to hear you talk
Yes.
about that when we come back right after this break. We'll be right back, everyone. I have given.
My father had 4 of his fingers amputated in a workplace accident. It was the first injured individual I represented, and I knew I had to win that case. When someone walks into my office and they've been injured, I know what they're going through. If you've been injured at work with Hunter and Everett. We've got the experience, so let us help you.
All right. I have given up on giving up. And so you want to encourage other people as well. What does
Yes.
that mean to you?
Well, I had given up on life. I was ready to exit. And Jonathan, my son, helped me turn things around and see that I could have a beautiful life regardless of experience in that moment. That instead of looking at the glass, half empty or half full, it's refillable. And you
Yes.
can always change your experience by changing your mindset, your spirit, your soul, your behaviors, how you speak to yourself. Your body listens. When you say, "Oh, I'm just so fat," or "I can't believe I have this disease. Why me?" Your cells are listening to that.
Mm.
So if you talk love to your body, to yourself, love with the things that you're speaking about yourself,
Mm.
then you're going to find you're going to have greater ease and flow with the whole world and your own body.
That's good.
Yeah.
I love that you're taking that approach. And you went to some extremes when it came to being able to get, because you were diagnosed with kidney disease.
Right.
And let's talk about that for a quick second as
Hmm.
far as being
Hmm.
diagnosed. I'm going to put this article here, but kidneyfund.org, they talk all about kidney disease, and
Hmm.
37 million Americans have kidney disease, and about
Yes.
807,000 Americans are living with kidney failure.
Yes.
And then over here it says it's more than 562,000 Americans are on dialysis. Now, this isn't even the statistics around the world. This is just in America,
Yes.
y'all. And I know this program is
Exactly.
global, but this is a lot of people here.
Mhm. Mhm. Yep.
So there's a lot of encouragement that's needed for even people that are fighting and battling these disease
Yes.
right now
Yes.
as we speak. What
Exactly.
what's when you were diagnosed, and it's already a
Mhm.
shocker just to be diagnosed with this.
Yeah. Mhm.
Then it gets progressed for you to what is considered end stage. Take us through that process.
Yes, you're correct. Stage 5, end stage, which means you're at the last end. If you don't do dialysis or get a transplant, you're going to decease. You're going to die. Mhm.
Did they give you a certain amount of time? You know how they say, okay, the prognosis is this. This is how long you have to be here on
Um,
this earth.
well, they did it first as far as like when I would start experiencing symptoms or I would need to be on dialysis. And I always find that fascinating because they told me when I was in my early 50s.
Mhm.
Well, that's when it happened. So when the doctors tell you you're going to get better in 3 weeks, do you get better in 3 weeks because that's the typical, that's the average, or because the doctor told you that you were going to be better in 3 weeks? And who do we look to with the doctor? We think him as this big authority, right? So I always wondered, why did it happen that way? Am I a statistic, or because they said that I created that story for myself? But yes, that's
So,
yeah,
so your philosophy is because they have put this time frame on it, then that's sometimes when people accept it more and believe it more because it's
yes,
put into their ear gates. Is that
yeah, I believe that.
interesting?
Yeah,
I
I just think
never
about that.
thought about it like that,
Yeah,
actually.
hmm yeah,
So, what do you all think in the studio audience is when you get a diagnosis from your doctor, regardless of whether it's kidney disease or any kind of diagnosis? It could be a cough, flu, COVID, whatever it is, cystic fibrosis, heart
hmm
disease, diabetes.
hmm
Do you automatically just kind of embrace what's being shared with you and take that as the gospel, that's the truth, and that's the
hmm
truth and nothing but the truth? Or do you go and do your own research and try to figure out other solutions too? Tell me your thoughts. What did you do, Beth, when you got that diagnosis?
Um, Well, when I finally had to go on, when I chose to go on dialysis,
Hmm.
it's all about language, and I will correct myself sometimes when I choose my words and I want to
I
change
love
them
that.
around. When I chose to go on dialysis, at first I was very resistant to it
Hmm.
and scared. And I already knew a lot of knowledge because I'm a physical therapist about the language and the health part of it and all that. It was overwhelming even to me, and all the medications you have to take. Like, I knew about meds because, I'd always have to document with my patients, the meds that they were on and stuff. But when I had to take all those meds myself and when I had to go through it, and I had all this knowledge, I can't imagine a person having to go through it that has no knowledge at all. And these doctors are talking all this big language and they're, trying to think, what are they saying to me? And a lot of times we won't ask those questions at that moment. We'll just kind of take it in. Yeah.
So
So,
you did do the dialysis because the
yeah.
doctors did advise you to do it. So it wasn't that you were kicking against the pricks, if that makes sense. You did comply and try that process, right?
I finally did it at 4%. Yeah. If I'd have waited any longer, I would have had nerve damage and my body would have not recuperated. But
So you use
we
wisdom, in
got it
my
at the right
opinion.
time.
You use
Oh,
wisdom
yes.
to follow the
Oh,
leading
yes,
physicians
definitely.
in that.
Definitely. Yeah, I
Okay.
listen to the doctors and then I take it in and I talk to my body and I use kinesiology and I can tell if something um, connects with me
Mhm.
from kinesiology.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. And Mackenzie says, I love that you fought. You fought for your life, basically. She says she loves that.
Well, I love that she's saying she loves that. However, I don't say that I'm fighting. I am going with the flow. I'm going with more ease because when I fight, I'm fighting against my own self and my body. So, a lot of these advertisements and marketing for breast cancer, for heart disease, I'm going to fight this and I'm a survivor.
Hmm.
Isn't that great? It's great that we're survivors, right? But then do you want to just live in survival mode from fighting this?
No.
Or do you want to live victoriously and in gratitude and with great love for yourself? When I fight, I don't feel like I'm loving my body. I'm fighting it.
Hmm.
So when I had the dialysis going through, and I know people have done this with chemo too, they say, this is helping me be healthy. This
Hmm.
is cleansing my blood. This is giving me what my body needs rather than saying, darn that machine. I can't believe that I'm connected to this and this
Right.
chemical is going through me. It's a shift. And that's one of the steps that I believe that people need to go through if they want to become victorious. And I myself, it's what has worked for me. The steps that I took were the first one. First, you have to become aware when you want to change your beliefs, your values, your morals, shift your world. I call it stepping left or shifting left. And I'll
Become
explain that more.
aware. Become
I'm
aware.
aware. Yes.
Really type that in the, and because you can go back and look at these notes later, but become aware.
Hmm. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Beth, because I'm just typing what you're
Oh,
saying.
you're doing it. Thank you.
Yeah, you don't have to
Um,
do anything else but be
thank
my
you.
guest.
Okay. Becoming aware. And it's something that if you start peeling your onion, if you start going inward and looking inward,
Mhm.
you can recognize that, oh, wow, I've been doing that, or I've been thinking this, and that's not supportive of me, right? Or
That's right.
someone can come and tell you directly, and then you can take that in. Does that resonate?
Right.
Oh, wow. Okay, I'm aware of this now. Now I can change. I can transform. Changing is different than transforming. Transforming is really a transformation that you're going through. Change
That's
is, I can change my underwear. I've been wearing it for 5 days.
right. Oh, you didn't live
I'm
somebody wearing
teasing.
their underwear for 5 days.
I'm just
The
teasing.
whole problem.
But there's a whole difference between change and
Right.
transformation. Then, two, you have to accept where you are at that moment. Now that you've become aware, this is where you're at. Now, do you want to stay there or do you want to transform? It's your choice. If you have the knowledge and you're comfortable with staying there and that's what you want to do, that's fine, right? That's your choice. But then you have to move into action. Well, what if you do the third one, or kind of goes with the fourth one? The You have to take action, or you choose to take action.
Mhm.
And when you choose to take action, what if you do the same action? What do they say? You're going to get the same results,
Results.
most
That's
likely,
insanity.
right?
Right.
Right. So that's where the shift comes in
Yes,
because you have to do new act. Well, you don't have to, you choose to do new action.
I love it.
right?
Yes.
And that new action has to do with your mind, your body, your spirit, your emotions.
So take
So
new action.
all those things
Okay.
need to change and transform.
That's good.
Yeah. And then you can have more of the goals that you're choosing to move forward, to improve your life, to be a better person, to help
Okay.
with your dis-ease. So you still may have the dis-ease, but you're going through it more with the flow,
Mhm.
and realize that pain is just a signal that your body is giving you. It's like a little baby. A little baby kind of whines, Mom, I'm hungry,
Right.
because they can't speak. And then it gets louder and louder. Well, your body does the same thing. If you don't pay attention to that little sign, it's going to keep talking to you until it's screaming, I need support. I need help here.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So, right. I took notes on what you said, and
Hmm.
these are some great points that we want to just make sure we pop up for a second, which is
Hmm.
make sure that you become aware, and
Hmm.
you became aware that you needed to go ahead and get the actual dialysis, because if you weren't aware, you were going to end up having nerve damage. Things were
Yeah.
going south quickly, down to 4%. You don't have any. You
Yeah.
only have a few more percentage left, so some
Yeah.
emergency has to take place.
Hmm.
Then you
Hmm.
have to accept where you are in that
Hmm.
moment. In that moment,
Yes.
dialysis had to kick in order for you
Yes.
to even get to this place where you are now
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
taking action. You did take the dialysis, but then
Hmm.
some other things happened that required you to even go another step further. So
Yes.
don't talk about it yet. We're going to come back again to hear what the next steps were for this end stage kidney disease diagnosis that Beth experienced. We'll be right back after this commercial break, everybody. All right, everyone, we are back and we are talking with Beth Badour. She is actually the kidney goddess, just so y'all know. So I think she's earned that title officially and formally. Today's episode is sponsored by V Products Store. V Products Store. And the thing that I'm hearing about these products is that it's like mushroom and coffee mixed together some kind of way. So it has all these benefits that are quite exciting for those that are using the products. So check out vproducts.store. Let them know the Kim Jacobs Show sent you their way. And also let us know the results for you, okay? All right. Talk to us about what were the next steps for you with this end-stage kidney disease.
Yeah. So I ended up getting a transplant fairly quickly, about 9 months, which is really good in this state. Each state has a different average of when you can get a kidney transplant. There's me.
That's you
And
preparing
that
to
was
go into surgery, or
I believe it was after surgery.
look
Yeah, and
at
that was the
you.
first transplant that I had.
Oh my God.
And that never took. There were some issues either on the operating table or once I got up and moved around and things shifted. So it was a viable kidney. But from day one, I was back on dialysis. And I could tell that they were not very hopeful that it was going to work. But they kept telling me, you have up to 3 months. We'll see if we can get this thing going, get it rolling. And I should have known with my history and health and that I've had and stuff, being a practitioner, that once the cortex doesn't get the oxygen, that's the part that filters the kidney, that it really wasn't going to be working. But I was hopeful and I was hopeful. And then I finally had to realize that it was not going to work. And I was going to have to stay on dialysis and hope for another transplant.
How
So,
often do people get multiple transplants?
yes,
That alone is, it's like God has a
yes,
special place for you on this
yes,
earth.
yes, exactly, exactly.
Wow. Okay.
And God was not done with me yet. I'm telling you, He kept holding my hand, bringing me along, even when I didn't pay attention to Him. So, yeah, so then I had to sit back and go, wow,
Hmm.
I have to go back on dialysis. Did I really sign up for this?
Right.
I can't believe I was getting ready to get out of here. And now I have to commit to more dialysis that didn't work. And I thought for sure it would work. And I called that kidney Big Al. I don't know why, but somebody
Big
said,
Al?
yeah. What's the name of your kidney? And I was like, the name of my kidney, it's called Al. I'm like, no, it's Great Al. I have no idea where that came from, but that was like the first thing out of my mouth.
Okay.
Big Al. So Big Al did not want to be inside me. And finally, after a lot of struggles with that kidney, a lot of struggles, back and forth to the ED, back and forth to surgery, tubes, drains, all that kind of stuff. Finally, it gave me enough problems. They had to take it out.
Oh.
Yeah. And
so,
then,
so you
go
go to
ahead.
surgery, you're in there, you get the kidney put in, it's
Mhm,
pretty much rejected. You have to go back then to dialysis.
mhm.
They have to remove the kidney that they
Yeah,
put in out,
yeah,
and now tell us what's next. What's
yeah.
next?
And it didn't reject. It's just that it wasn't functional. It had 2 arteries to one, and they twisted. So it cut off the blood and the oxygen supply to the
Ah,
outside of the kidney that filters it. So it was a
and
viable kidney, but somewhere in
okay.
there something happened.
Wow, during the
Yeah,
procedure.
yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, yeah, or after, because it was tangled. So did that happen while I was lying there, or once I started to move and things shifted?
You'll never know. But
No,
okay.
right, right. And I don't blame the doctor. I don't
Of
blame
course.
surgery. I don't blame the hospital. It's just what happened.
Right.
So then I had to wait again. I had to still be on dialysis waiting for that new kidney. And then finally I got the call and I went in. And luckily, this one took. Everything's been good. It's over a year now. I had my 1-year anniversary August 26th. And I was so busy with my life and I had made a move and all this kind of stuff. And I had just had surgery again a couple months before that I was in rehab for that. And I kind of forgot, like, this is a big deal.
This is
So
a huge deal.
yeah.
Huge.
So the other day, one of my friends and I said, I haven't celebrated yet. They said, we're celebrating today. So we went out, we celebrated and everything. So yeah.
Congratulations, Beth. So in 1 year, a little over a year, the
Mhm.
kidney is functioning. You're off dialysis,
Yeah.
and you are beautiful, vibrant. Uh,
Yes.
both Hunter and Jonathan get the opportunity to have mommy still around.
Yes.
And
Yes.
put some of the comments up, Mackenzie, and hopefully you all are putting comments of congratulations and
Yeah.
gratitude that she's still here on this earth. Pop some of the comments up and let's acknowledge some of our studio audience.
Mhm.
And also, if you have questions, pop those in the comment section as well. We'll take a moment here to do kind of like a flash round. Let's see some of the comments that's coming in. Good morning, Benita said good morning. Happy Tuesday. Great information. Now, if you're watching this on another day of the week, then it's because you're watching a replay. But Tuesday is when it ran. Good morning, Robert B. Jordan, coming from Brooklyn, New York. Glad to have you, Robert B. Jordan. Let's see who else is in the studio. I had an autoimmune disease that almost killed me last year, but I fought through it. And this Mackenzie is who typed this comment. She actually in her early 20s, new mom, and literally had some kind of reaction to her COVID booster shot or something. And she ended up having a Guillain-Barré syndrome, and
Mhm.
she was paralyzed and had to learn how to re-walk and everything.
Mhm.
I've never seen anything like it. So I'm so grateful that God brought you through that, Mackenzie. Glad. And she's now expecting her second child, who will be here sometime the month of September. All right, I'm about to have there you go. She's about to have her second child next week, and she is so excited. We're so excited for you, Mackenzie, and baby son, and now baby daughter that's on the way, and the whole Rhodes family, Trent, your husband. We celebrate you all here on the Kim Jacobs Show. So glad that God is blessing your family to increase. Good morning, Kim and Beth. My mom's on. She said good morning to you. I have to keep these reading glasses on for a second. I don't wear glasses, y'all, but only when I have to read stuff. So let me be true to who I am here. I go and do my own research, Benita says.
Yes.
She doesn't just listen to someone's advice only.
Yes.
Congratulations. Way to go on your success, and God blessing you that way. Let's see other comments. It's been lots of comments coming in, and we are honored to have Beth here today. Beth, I know that there are women that are dealing with all different types of diseases, and some kidneys, some diabetes, all kind of things. You know, what advice do you give people to go from being a victim to being victorious?
Well, like I said, those 5 steps helped me to shift, to change. Pray about it, manifest, practice being as positive as you can. I mean, I'm not telling you to not feel the feelings,
Right.
but not to get stuck in the negative feelings about what you're going through.
That's good.
I used to go down the rabbit hole, and I used to go far. And now I've learned, why do I want to go that far into depression? Just not sadness. Sadness comes and goes. But once it turns into depression and you go down that rabbit hole, all those negative things that you think are going to happen, that you wish wouldn't happen, that sometimes really doesn't happen, you know? I said, do I want to waste my time being that low and then have to coming back up? I said no to myself. Just recently, I had to say that to myself. We're not going there, honey. You've been there too many times. We're not going there. You're going to stay here. Figure out what action you need to take. And sometimes it's no action, but if it's no action, then you know that.
Right.
And then a lot of the times it is an action. And then you can take action without all that emotion behind it. You work through that. You just don't pass it by and shove it down. You work through it. You let it go. Take a breath, and then figure out what action there is to take.
That's really great advice. And you said something that I thought was key, is that you just said something to yourself a few days ago. So it's something that rises up in you, even in the midst of all that you can already see.
Yes.
That if nobody else can see it, you definitely are an example of somebody that can say, God brought me through this. He has the work for me to do here on this earth. I'm going to be making a difference some kind of way. I'm here for a purpose. If nobody else can do that, Beth Badour can do that, right? But in the midst of that, you still have to remind yourself.
Yes.
And I love that you said that. So it's important for us to talk to ourselves. You talk to yourself out loud? I know I do.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Oh, yes. And then I correct that thinking sometimes, like, I don't want to think that. Okay, let's put this in the computer file instead. Yeah.
That's interesting. My mom says to me sometimes, she's like, Kim, you're going to have to stop doing that. I'm like, stop. I said, stop doing what, Mom? I don't know what she's talking about. She's like, do you realize that you're actually talking to yourself out loud? I was like, first of all, I love me, right? And I thank God that he's given me the ability to be within my right mind, given some of the circumstances and situations I've been through. So I do need to say, girl, I know you're not getting ready to go there in your mind, because you know what God has brought you through. And so talk to yourself until you're able to get back in your right mind. And sometimes silently that doesn't work. So I'll talk out loud to myself. I'll be like, girl, bye. You know you ain't about to do that. I'll say stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I'm glad to know you do it too, Beth, right?
Oh, yes, I do.
So when we're out at a meeting somewhere, we could be talking and we'll be like, oh, I'm not networking with you. I'm networking with myself. Bring it in, Kim. Bring it in. All right. Listen, I'm being silly. Okay, Benita, thank you for confirming that. She said, I talk to myself all the time, too. But when we know other people are around, Benita, we want to kind of quiet it down, right? Like,
oh, yeah.
At least around my mom. Y'all make sure y'all.
Okay.
I know my mom is right now typing a paragraph. She's going to respond to it. Trust me. Listen, we're talking today with Beth Badour.
Oh,
she is also on this other side of the journey, and quite a few things are happening in her life from a positive perspective. And I want to be able to introduce some of those things to you right after our next commercial break. So we'll be right back, everyone. And you can get water, do whatever you want to do, Beth, because it's a show about balance. So do whatever. Go ahead and take the next break, Mackenzie.
Who are those people? You know, the guys playing golf in the middle of the day on a Tuesday. The woman wearing $1,000 shoes at a cafe in the city. The kid in the ripped jeans driving a $200,000 sports car. What do they know that you don't? One word: leverage. working smarter, not harder, owning their own business, not being owned by a job. The good news? We have it. Interested?
And we're going to also play the second part of that commercial right now, which is the next one. And then we're going to come back and hear from Beth Badour. So we're going to play part 2 of that commercial from our sponsor. Mackenzie may be like, I don't know what you're talking about, woman. So let me play that one.
Almost
Okay?
certain about
Hold
you.
on one second.
Number 1, you know people who travel. Of course you do. Everybody travels. It's an $8 trillion industry. It's what people dream about doing. And number 2, you probably aren't making the commission. You see, every car rental, every hotel, and every resort pays commissions. They may go to a website or to a traditional travel agent. But trust us, someone is earning it. Well, what if we could show you a way to put that commission in your pocket? It doesn't hurt to take a peek. Interested?
All right, everyone, we're back. And let me pull Beth Badour back in. Hello, Beth. How are you?
I'm great.
Okay, are you having a good time here on this episode?
Oh, I love this kind of stuff. Yes.
Well, we love having you here today. And this episode is also sponsored today by, if you would like more information pertaining to the travel industry and how you can own your piece of the travel industry, definitely email trueyougetaway@gmail.com today. trueyougetaway@gmail.com, and you'll be able to find out more information about the 2 commercials you just saw. All right. So, Beth, you are an author as well. So talk to us about that, your book.
Yes. I had never written a book before, but I felt that it was very important to get this information out for other people who have struggled with kidney disease, or just needed a story that was inspiring. Because of the path that I chose, it's not likely that a lot of people would say, I'm not doing any of this. I'm just going to exit. I'm going to exit this world. I feel complete. And at that point, I wanted to die with dignity. I was going on hospice. I actually was on hospice at one point. And then deciding to choose to stay, that it's a very inspiring story. So I've written 3 books now. This is the first one, Never Say Never, Living with Kidney Disease from Victim to Victorious. So it tells the story of when, I learned I was diagnosed, going through everything, waiting for the transplant, getting the transplant, it not working. And then in the back of the book, it talks about kidney disease and all the different stages of kidney disease, dialysis, transplants, support systems, how to ask your friends and family for any kind of support,
Right.
Financial support. So all that is in the back of the book. So the front of the book is for anybody who needs an inspiring story. It talks about all the places I traveled because I was making memories with my 2 sons, and we were traveling the world. We had a great time, and it was memories that we had. And then you can go to the back of the book if you are a kidney patient, or if you know somebody who is a family member who has a need for a transplant, to get more information.
Wow.
Then the second book is like do it yourself, going through the process of what the first book talks about. And I spoke a little bit about the 5 steps, awareness, acceptance, having to do an action, choosing to do an action, shifting left or stepping left. So it talks about how to empower yourself with that information. And then you can journal and, peel the onion yourself. And then I said I would do one more book before I chose to stop writing. And that's when I got the kidney. So I'm just getting ready to publish the last book on KDP on Amazon. And these are available on Amazon. And it'll show the next one. I don't know if you can scroll down there or not.
Yeah, that was all of them.
Second
the
one.
workbook and the journal here.
Yes. So the next one is called What Brand of Kidney Beans a love story to my kidney angels and people that do have people that they surrounded with that have kidney disease, those kind of
Is
things.
that
So
on
people
here
that
too
support.
on the website?
No, this is the latest one that I
Right,
just
right.
finished
That's
writing, and I'm working on the cover of it, and then
okay.
I'll have it out on Amazon. I plan to do that by the end of the month.
I'm so
So
excited about it. So
yeah.
right now you all can get a copy of Never Say Never. They can get it at your website as well, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so you can
Yeah.
go right to thecreativelifebydesign.com, and
Mm-hmm.
that's in your comment section as well
Mm-hmm.
under contact information for Beth. And then you can also get the workbook and journal for Never Say Never, Living with Kidney Disease from Victim to Victorious. And then her third book, which is coming out, are they able to pre-order it?
I will put that on the website that they can pre-order it. Yet I haven't yet, but I can do that. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if you want to go
Yeah.
ahead and get hot off the press right when it
Yeah.
comes off, with
Mm-hmm.
later, hopefully today at some point, you'll be able to go to her website and be able to pre-order that as well. But
Yes.
each of those can be autographed by Beth and
Mm-hmm.
sent to you if you go to thecreativelifebydesign.com to hear more about her story. One of the things in the book that
Yeah.
well, first of all, this website, so that's why you're featured on Million Lives Transformed. There's a video clip there. That's her and her son, and as they're traveling along their journey. And what an inspiration your son
And you notice the T-shirt. Notice the T-shirt. Giving up, giving up.
gave up.
That's
Do
my
you sell
motto.
those t-shirts?
No, that would be a great idea. My
Oh yeah,
girlfriend gave it to me, but that would be a great idea.
you need
Yes.
to definitely put that on your store because I want that. I gave up on giving up. That's big.
Okay. I'll work on that
So
one.
Creative Life by Design, 704-218-9885. If you'd like to be able to reach out to her, 704-218-9885. Are you on WhatsApp as well? Because a lot of our viewers are global.
Oh, that's a good idea. I've been on WhatsApp before, but I haven't paid that much attention.
Well,
So
go
I
back
will
to
add that.
activate that because a lot of the viewers that
Yes.
are in the 100 countries that also get access
Mm-hmm.
to this program would love to be able to connect with you as
I
well.
will do that.
Okay, so she will be on WhatsApp as well today, and it's usually +1 is the code for the United States, and 704-218-9885. All right, so I just wanted to make sure I shared some of your website. In
Thank
your
you.
book, you talk about the function of kidney disease. Do you want to
Mm-hmm.
mention a little bit about that? Because not everybody even knows what the kidney's main functions are.
Okay. Well, basically, the kidney helps to release and all the toxins that are in our body. When we eat, our body goes through a process, and then it goes to the kidneys. And all those toxins that are in our food that we don't need, it flushes through the urine system. Well, when you have kidney disease, the kidneys start to break down, or they have cysts, or it's cancer, anything that affects the function of it. I had what's called polycystic kidney. So
Okay.
my kidneys got cysts on them, and they grew and they grew, and they were really large when they took them out, because they had to take them out in order to, at least on one side, they had to take it out. It was so big, there wouldn't be enough room for the new kidney to go in.
Okay.
But when there's anything that's a disruption in that function, you're not going to get those toxins to be released. So that's the main function of the kidneys.
Big deal.
And
Okay.
you can get kidney disease for so many different reasons, especially with diabetes. You have to watch. It can turn really ugly and nasty if it turns into problems with your kidneys, because diabetes affects a lot of system, your eyes, your kidneys, those kind of things. But
And
that's
diabetes,
the
you don't even
basic
know that it's
function.
happening. It sneaks up on you. You're like, whoa.
It does. It does, because I didn't have any symptoms except fatigue. Fatigue was a big one, but I didn't realize, my nephrologist that I hadn't gone to in 2 years, because my plan was to go on hospice. And he's like, you haven't been here in like 2 years. And I'm like, well, I didn't think you could do anything for me if I was just going to pass. And he's like, Beth, there's so many things that I can do to help you at this stage, whether you choose to stay here or you still plan to go on hospice. And I was so thankful that they would still receive me and they would help me. But yeah, I had no symptoms except fatigue right at first.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you literally chose life, because
Yes.
like you say, in 4%, no
Mhm.
matter what, it would have kind of ended in a different way for you.
Yeah.
And they're telling you, even if the doctors can't say this is the exact day you're going to pass, 4%
Right.
goes to 3%, 2, 1,
Yeah.
0.
Oh, yeah.
After
Hmm.
0, I don't know what
Yeah.
else is going to happen,
I was
but
palliative care. Yeah.
yeah. But look at you, vibrant, colorful, kidney goddess that you are, and you are here on the Kim Jacobs Show sharing your story. I'm thoroughly grateful and impressed by what God is doing. So let's see. I also want to make sure that I share you have some other passions, and people
Yes, I
may
do.
not know about them, but one of them is belly dancing, I heard.
Yes.
So talk
I
to us about
love I love to belly dance. The way that I got into belly dancing is an interesting story. I was in an African dance class and I
it.
love that. And we did some modern dancing with it also. And I had been on stage and everything. And my girlfriend came to me in class and she said, in 2 weekends from now, we're going to have a festival and I need more belly dancers. And she goes, do you belly dance? And I said, well, I've never tried. And she goes, if you can do African dancing, I can teach you in 2 weeks and you can be on that stage with us. So I said, okay, let's do it. So she taught me the moves to be on stage. And within 2 weeks, I was belly dancing.
Wow. And I mean, like I'm
We had
saying,
so
doing
much
it
fun. I
well.
taught classes along the way. And if you see me out and about in public, if there's African drums there, I might just be belly dancing and African dancing spontaneously on the road. You never know about me.
I mean, my cheeks are burning because I feel like so overjoyed to know that you took something that was considered end of life and now you're living like your best life.
Yeah,
This is
exactly.
amazing. And
Yeah.
did you draw these? Because I saw these online. Tell me if this is your art.
Oh, it's my art, and that's painting, acrylic painting.
That
Yes.
is beautiful.
Thank
So,
you.
what is
Thank
acrylic
you.
painting? Tell us what that is.
Well, there's all different materials that you can paint with, and I use acrylic. There's like oil, acrylic, just like you can use stencils,
Okay.
markers. It's just another tool that you can use, another way to paint.
Yeah,
It's very
actually,
easy. When you use oil, sometimes it can be smelly, hard to clean, but they like it because it's like a buttery substance and you can move it around and stuff. But for me, the easiest one is acrylic, and that's what I've mostly worked with.
interesting. And that's
Yeah.
actually something I bought for my daughter before is the acrylic painting. So
Hmm.
that's the
Yeah. Yeah.
pieces. It said
Hmm.
acrylic on there, but I still didn't
Hmm.
fully understand it even then. But she does some great artwork.
Hmm.
Okay, I love everything. What made you take up the passion of drawing in some regard here?
With painting. I had
Paint,
painted as a child.
I was
That's
thinking
okay. That's okay.
art.
I painted
Painting.
as a child. And then when I became an adult, I was like, well, what am I going to do with all these paintings? Why am I doing this? And I went to that side of the brain that's like, well, you shouldn't bother with that. And then I finally said, well, of course I should. If God has given me this gift and I want to paint, just paint for no
That's
reason. And then,
great.
yeah. And then from there, as you can see behind me, which way can I go? Let's go this way. I don't know if you can see
I
it.
can see
Look
it.
at-
Yes, it's
Yeah.
beautiful. Yes.
Yes. Pink sorbet is what I called it. I said, well, I didn't actually call it. I invited Facebook people. Give me a title for this. And somebody came up with a title. And I was like, I love that.
I love
Yeah. So,
that. And then
yeah.
this image here, where you're
Hmm.
standing between your sons,
Yeah.
you do something very unique with your paintings.
That's right.
What do you do with them?
Yes. Well, I send in a photograph of the painting to La Galeriste in Canada, and they make a line of clothing for me out of that fabric from the painting. So you can get a very unique line of clothing. Yes, you can. If you go to my website again, it'll tell you where to go and how to order the different lines. And if you want something very special, I can paint a specific painting for you if you commission me. And then we can turn it into a line of clothing. You can have the original painting and one of the products from the line for a certain price. And nobody else will have that again.
I
So
love
think
that.
about that. If you want to stand out, you want to be unique, stand out in the crowd. I invite you to purchase some of my clothing line because I go out in public and people say, are you an artist? I love your outfit. Well, you've seen it yourself, Kim. When we're
I
at
love
meetings,
it.
people walk up to me. I love your outfit. Where did you get it? So yeah, you too.
Well, I put on something colorful just because I knew I was going to be with
Oh,
you today. So I found the most colorful thing. I was like, whoa,
there you go.
like find
Beautiful.
something
I
colorful.
love it.
But this is not Beth Badour. All right. When you see Beth step out in her custom made painting outfit that she's turned from this artwork to now on her clothing line,
Mhm.
it is a sight to behold. So I'm very intrigued to know how to go about matching my painting to my outfit that would be just something Kim would have. Nobody else would have it.
Yes, that's
I love
right.
it. So go to the creativelifebydesign.com, and on the website, it'll tell you how to get your painting and how to get clothing. Do you provide the actual clothing in the size, or do we have to provide the dress, or what has to happen?
Through La Galleries. When you go to my website, it'll take you to La Galleries, and then you can get it in your size. Mhm.
Oh, so I can actually order the painting in my dress size.
I
Right
see what
from-
you're saying. No, right now I don't have them as a combination on La Galleries. Then you have to speak to me directly, and we can work that out.
Well, I see. I literally get to see you. So can we just book a little appointment right quick? And
Oh yeah,
because I would like to learn more about that. All right, all right. So
we
this
can
is
do that.
good. Thank you so much, ma'am. I greatly appreciate it. Listen, for those that are not here local in the Charlotte area with Beth Badour, make sure you visit the Creative Life by Design to learn more about how you can get your painting turned into some clothing that will be customized just for you. And then maybe you might be able to do some belly dancing too. What made you want to do belly dancing? What made that be the case?
I am not a ballerina. A ballerina is like fluffy and floaty and kind of out here. And I want to put my feet on the ground without any shoes on. That's why I'm so interested in African dancing and belly dancing. Connect with the earth. Yeah.
I love it. And then James said he said I love Beth. I just love Beth. James,
Thank you, James.
So now you have some bucket list things that you also want to do, and I know Canada, a specific area, is one of them. Tell us about that as well.
I love to travel, and I did so many wonderful travels along my lifetime, but the special ones were really with my kids. And my son Jonathan and I traveled so many places. We went to Iceland together, first class, and went in the Blue Lagoon and all this stuff. And Banff, Canada is one place that he wanted to go. And the more I learn about it, I think that would be a lovely place to go. But anywhere that's new and exciting, I've traveled the world, been all over the world, and it's the best experience you can have is travel, I believe.
Wow.
So yeah, but definitely Banff, Canada is one.
All right. So you have a bucket list, and I believe that you're going to be checking a lot of items off of that. And then
yes, I am.
I know one thing that you also did when you were originally trying to get the kidney donor, because you did something different than what other people would have probably stepped out of their comfort zone to do. Tell us what that was.
Oh, I did so many different things. Oh my
Right.
goodness. But I used two different foundations. One was the Kidney Transplant Foundation. And you could donate money directly to that fund, and it would go to my medicines and to my doctor's appointments. And the other one was through Facebook. I did it through Facebook also. You will get taxed on that if you do a fund on Facebook. And then also the National Kidney Foundation. And I did one through the National Kidney Foundation. And I wouldn't hesitate. I would go to anybody on the street, family, friends, ask them to
That's what I
donate
was
a kidney
talking
to me.
about. Because you put some yard signs out is what I was
Oh, I did.
I was
Oh, yes, I did. I put them all over. And okay, I'm going to tell you a secret. Are you ready to hear the secret?
Yeah.
Okay. So the title of my book, my third book, is What Brand of Kidney Beans? Well, I had these signs out around, town and everything, all over Charlotte, all over. And I get this text from this lady. What brand of kidney beans do you need? I said, I don't have a recipe out there. What are you talking about? She's like, aren't you with the food bank and you need a certain brand of kidney beans? And I'm like, no, honey, I'm really sorry, but I need a real kidney, just not kidney beans.
That's
So
cute.
it's just so cute that I had to title my book that, because it just made me laugh and laugh and laugh. Another one that I heard was, Beth, I saw your yard sign. I want to donate my kidney like immediately, right? I was like, slow down. It takes a process, slow down. And he got a letter back in the mail that said he couldn't donate. And I said to him, we're texting, and I said to him, well, did you find out why? And he goes, no. And I said, well, for me, I'd want to know, you're telling me you don't drink, you don't smoke, you exercise, you're doing everything right.
Right.
And then we stopped the conversation. And then a little bit after that, he texted me back and he said, do you think it could be that bullet in my lung?
Oh, of course, sir. Yes. You're not going to be able to give your kidney with a bullet in your lung. No.
And I'm like, I think you need to keep all of your organs.
Yes.
That's perfectly fine. Thank you for saying you want to donate, but keep your organs. I never did find out the end of that story, why he has this bullet in his lung.
Wow.
But no, he can't go through anesthesia. He can't go through surgery. It might dislodge that. Why couldn't they take it out? I don't know.
Right.
But yeah, you get everything. When you put out signs, you get it all.
Well, at least you have people. There are still some really great people on this earth.
Oh,
because
yes.
everybody, it's a lot of bad stories out here. But then there are some people that will look at a yard sign and say, I don't even know you. I'm a stranger.
And
but
they
I'm
did.
To give you my kidney?
They did. I had people.
Too.
Right. And we just weren't matches. Yeah.
That's really admirable for people to do that. I'm impressed that people would. Okay, here someone asked a question. Oh, Vanita said, wow, that sounds amazing that people would do that. And then someone said, did either of your children try to give you their kidney? Someone wanted to know.
Well, that's very interesting. My son Jonathan has my same kidney disease, and he found that out very, very young. So I've showing him the way to be. However, he's seen the good side of it and the bad side, because he's thinking mom's just going to get a kidney and life is going to go back to normal. And that has not been my story. It has been a big challenge. And the other son was in the Navy, or was going in the Navy at that time. I think he was in the Navy. And I just couldn't invite myself to ask him. A lot of people said you need to ask him, but if he's in the service, to ask for a kidney is an awful lot. And I figured if my kids do it, they would come to me and they would tell me that I really had a hard time going to my kids to ask for a kidney. Now, I'm not saying that's the right thing to do. That's what I felt was the best thing to do.
Of course, right.
Everybody has a different feeling about it. Go ask all your friends and families. Don't let that stop you. But with my certain circumstance, one could not give me a kidney and the other one was in the service, and I just didn't want to disrupt him being able to stay in the service.
James said that our church was praying for her kidney transplant. And I want to pop that comment up, Mackenzie, backstage. I know you're back there helping me. But I'm grateful that you had a church that prayed for you.
Yes.
How important was that in your journey?
Yes.
How important was having the church backing and supporting you?
With me?
Yes.
That didn't happen to me.
Okay.
That happened to somebody else that's in the chat.
Oh, James Gray said that their church was praying for her, meaning you, to have a kidney transplant come through.
Okay. So yes. James, I do know him. Yes. Now it's making sense. I'm thinking, who are you talking about? Now I see his name. So yes.
He's in the studio audience.
And I didn't even know that they were doing that.
That is a blessing. That's my point.
Yeah.
So the reason that I said that is, and then hearing your response is that you really don't know who in the community, seeing your yard sign, knowing your journey, reading your story is praying for you. So James, thank you and your congregation.
Yes. Thank you, sweetie.
That.
Yes.
Yeah. Because you don't know who's watching your story or your journey.
No, you don't.
Trying to support you. Let me also let you all know that if you are interested in donating to the Kim Jacobs Show, our program comes on Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time during weekdays. And I encourage you to take a picture of this for the audio podcast listeners. It's Cash App, $Kim Jacobs Inc. PayPal is paypal.me/Kim Jacobs Inc. Venmo is at The Kim Jacobs Show. And you can even be a Patreon member. And that's where you get exclusive content that's not here on the public sector, and it's some behind the scenes stuff. Patreon.com/The Kim Jacobs Show. I want you all to stay connected with Beth Badour, who has been an amazing guest today. And you can stay connected at thecreativelifebydesign.com. Thecreativelifebydesign.com. Many people want to also know that if you are interested in helping to get portable defibrillators, that's going to be everywhere throughout the country. Gabe's Heart Foundation, in honor of my son that recently passed away and had a heart defect that we did not know existed. So none of us knew it even existed out of our 5 children. And he experienced sudden cardiac arrest as a result of it. I don't want that to happen to any other children and parents. So our goal is to get defibrillators around the country in all of the public spaces where young people congregate. So please scan the QR code if you're able to take a picture of it and donate to Gabe's Heart Foundation. I donate to Gabe's Heart Foundation myself too. So I'm not asking you to do something that I don't do, okay? And we have an annual 5K walk that's coming up September 23rd. And it's going to be in Concord, North Carolina. But no matter where you are in the world, you can walk virtually on that day, September 23rd at 8 a.m. All right. So that's happening, and hopefully you all can participate. Any closing comment? And we're getting ready to end today's episode.
I'm just so happy to be here. I'm so excited to share this information because I believe God put me here to be in service to people that are here on the earth. And this gives me an opportunity to do that. Yeah. So thank you, Kim.
You're changing the world by sharing your story and your journey, yes, and how you've gotten to the other side. And the advice that you've given is priceless. There's nothing. I don't even know what else you could have said. But did you leave anything out that you wanted to say? Because you said
each time I get together and do these kind of things, different things come out. What needs to be said at that moment comes out. So it's always perfect, however it shows up.
Well, I'm sure on behalf of the Kim Jacobs Show, I just want to thank Jonathan and Hunter for being great sons to you and for being able to be a light in the midst of a very dark period of your mom's life. And so I just personally want to say I thank God for blessing Beth with 2 wonderful warrior sons.
Yes.
I'm gonna put your picture back up again, guys, because this is what being your children raising up and calling you blessed, in my opinion, is all about. You all are warriors, and you've done your mom tremendous justice by allowing her to remain on this earth through God using you the way that he did. So I just want to say thank you to your sons. Yay.
Oh, that means a lot to me, Kim.
All right, everybody, that's today's episode. Mackenzie, thank you backstage. I know you're getting ready to be delivering your baby girl soon. I know the name, but I'm not going to be revealing it. So I wish you nothing but God's blessings and a safe delivery. I don't know how often you'll still be backstage coming up here soon, but I just want you to know on behalf of the Kim Jacobs Show that we are praying for you and asking God to allow you to have a very smooth, safe, healthy delivery. And I do believe that God creates the physicians as well, and that he will orchestrate through their hands to make it a flawless situation for you and your family. All right, everybody. Thank y'all for tuning in. I'll see you tomorrow right here again on the Kim Jacobs Show at 11 o'clock a.m. Thank you, Beth Badour, the kidney goddess. Woo! Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of the Kim Jacobs Show and for being in the virtual studio audience. Your presence truly does make a difference, and I look forward to you bringing your friends